Everyone, welcome back to my channel. And in the previous video of the series we had completed the navigation bar and the top bar of the website, and now we are going to build the next section or the next part of the header, which is the main content. So let's get started. So we have this markup called header main, and inside this we want to create a h1 heading which will say, hello, my name is Ujjwal, I am a front end developer. Okay, so we can also break the line here using a br tag. Okay, so now we shall go to the style set. Now to actually style this h1 heading, we want to style this in a different kind of way so that it looks bigger and it just attracts the visitor. So we shall give it a class called display. Let's give it a number, display1. Okay, so now to bring this heading at the center of the screen, we shall use flexbox. Also let us make some changes to the already built navigation. Let's actually give this a fixed height of, let's just remove this height first of all. Okay, and make the logo div as 120 pixel fixed, so that the logo size does not change when we zoom in or zoom out or anything else. And remove this margin. Okay, so now the logo looks more cleaner. Let's check the height of the top bar by using a background color of black. Okay, so this is the real height of the top bar. This is good. I think this is good. We can also give it a fixed height. For example, we can give it a height of 180 pixels. Okay, or since we have given the logo 120 pixels, so we can also give it 120 pixels. Okay. This is good. Or we can divide the whole screen, the whole header part, into two parts. Since we already know that there will be a top bar and there will be the rest of the content which is inside the header main tag, we can divide this 100 vh height of the header into two parts and give some like 10 vh to the top bar. Okay, this is lesser, or 13 vh. Okay, this is also lesser, 15 vh. This is almost there, 18 vh. Okay, this is perfect. So we have given 18 viewport height to this top bar. So we can clearly calculate that the header main height will be 100 minus 18 viewport height, which is actually 18, so 82 viewport height, I think. Okay, so now this height is actually 82 viewport height. Now to bring the heading at the center, we shall actually make this header main div as display flex, and then we shall set the h1 inside the header main and margin auto. In flexbox, to center an element inside a div, we just use margin auto. So now this text is at the center of this header main, so we can see there is an equal space at the top and bottom of the div and at the right and left of the screen. So the text is exactly at the center. Now we want to make this text bigger and look more awesome. So for that we have also given this as display one, so we shall create a class called display one, and then give this a font size of 6 rem. So now this looks better, I think. 6 rem, and we shall give the font weight as 300. Okay, this looks awesome. Now this looks awesome, but it is not clearly visible. It is not clearly visible. So maybe we can use some linear gradient at the background and make this text more visible. So let us use actually some linear gradient on the background. So we have this background image, and we shall before that use linear gradient and use a RGBA value 0, 0, 0, 0.6. Again RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.7. So now the background is darker, and we can just since this is the text, so we can also use color white here. So this looks awesome. I think we can make the text even bigger, I think. So let us make it even bigger to be exactly 7 rem. Okay, and we can also make this text even lighter. So previously when we selected the fonts on Google Fonts website, we had selected Sans Pro font family, and we had selected this 300 size and 400 size, but to make things make the text even lighter than this, we can use the 200 size. So we just need to include 200 comma, and that font shall be downloaded automatically if you are connected to the internet. So let us give this font weight as 200. So as you can see, the font became lighter. You shall see the difference. If it is 300, then it is, and then when it is 200. Okay, so this becomes even more lighter. Now let us just remove that background color on the top bar. Okay, but as you can see that this text looks somewhat not at the center, because it is at the center actually, but it is at the center of this header main which starts from here. It is not at the center of the header. So to displace it somewhat towards the upper edge, we can use actually translate property. We shall use on the header translate, and we want to translate it in the y direction. So actually we shall use transform translate y, and just let us use -50%. So as you can see now, this looks better, I think. And we can also use actually modify this linear gradient and make it something else. For example, let us just use to bottom. Okay, so when we write to bottom, this means that we want this to at the bottom, this color, and this at the top. So for example, if we increase the transparency, and decrease the transparency here. Okay, this is just reverse of I'm sorry, this is just a reverse. Okay, so this gets at the top and this gets at the bottom. Oh, I was right, this gets at the let me figure out. To bottom means this thing will be, this thing is at the top and this thing is at the bottom. Okay, so at the bottom it is darker because transparency is less. So let us take this here, and at the top let us make it darker so that the navigation is more visible. As you can see, let us make it more transparent on the bottom. Okay, so this also looks good, and we can also use some bluish color here. So let us go to the bluer shades. This looks cool. Let us increase the transparency. Now this background looks certainly cool. Let's do some darker shade. The text is not actually quite visible. Let's try some other color. Now the text becomes visible, quite visible. Let's try this black. Okay, now this is looking interesting. Yeah, no, this is awesome. This looks awesome. So everything is working and this text is at the center. So you saw how easy it is to center a particular thing in Flexbox. We just use display flex on the container and margin auto on the element. It becomes centered. And I think we can also use an animation here which will make the things more interesting. So let's do that animation. Let's remove this full stop. let's center align the text align center. Okay, let's bring back that full stop. And let us just insert a span element and insert a vertical bar which indicates the cursor. We are going to build a blinking caret. A caret is actually the cursor. We shall make it blink so that it looks cool. So let us just give it a class named caret, and we shall make a CSS animation. So to make CSS animation, we use the keyframes property. Let us give it the animation name, which is blink. So at 0%, we want the font color to be transparent. At 50%, we want the font color to be white, and at 100% we want it again to be invisible, which is transparent. Okay, so this way initially the caret will be transparent, mean in the middle it will become visible, and then again it will become invisible. So let us give the caret this animation. To do it, we use the property animation, blink, then we use the duration, animation duration, which is 1 second. So as you can see, it has already started working, and to do this continuously we type infinite. So as you can see, it was really easy to make this animation, and this looks amazing. I think our header part is almost ready.